Why were railroads strategically important during the Civil War? Have you ever wondered how railroads changed the game during the American Civil War? These iron pathways were not just for transporting goods, they became lifelines for armies. Railroads allowed for the quick movement of troops, supplies, and equipment over long distances. This capability was essential for both the Union and the Confederacy. Imagine soldiers, weapons, food, and medical supplies being transported directly to the front lines. This was a major advantage over traditional horse-drawn wagons, which were much slower. Most significant battles that took place east of the Mississippi River were within 20 miles of a railroad line. This proximity meant that armies could quickly receive reinforcements, which often turned the tide in battles. For instance, during the First Battle of Bull Run, Confederate troops were transported by rail to strengthen their position. Railroads acted as strategic arteries connecting key cities and military hubs. The Confederacy relied heavily on the rail link between Richmond and Danville. Meanwhile, the Union established large rail depots, such as the one at City Point, to support their siege operations against Richmond and Petersburg. Control of railroad junctions became a primary military objective. Disrupting an opponent's rail network could cut off their supply lines and troop movements. This made railroads both valuable assets and targets for raids and sabotage. The North had a significant advantage with its railroad system. It boasted about 22,000 miles of track compared to the South's 9,500 miles. The North's railroads were mostly standardized in gauge, allowing for smoother transport without frequent transfers. In contrast, the South had varied rail gauges, complicating logistics and making it harder to move troops and supplies efficiently. Railroads symbolized the industrial progress of the time. They changed military strategy by highlighting the importance of infrastructure and supply lines. Generals understood that railroads were as vital in wartime as they were in peace. Protecting or destroying these lines could determine the success of military campaigns. Additionally, railroads reduced the need for large numbers of horses and wagons, which required extra food and care. This streamlined the supply chain, allowing armies to sustain longer campaigns without the burden of managing extensive animal logistics. In essence, railroads were strategically important during the Civil War because they enabled faster movement and supply of troops and materials. They influenced the location and outcomes of battles and became critical military targets. Their presence shaped the strategies and logistics of both the Union and Confederate forces throughout the conflict.